Hello and welcome to Jason Talks Geek, a sort of weekly geeky show where I talk about geeky things with geeky people on a geeky orange couch. And today I am joined by, who are you?
I am Ashley Victoria Robinson.
That is right. I know for a fact that she is a geek, so she belongs on this show. All right. So, as I said, we're going to talk about some geeky topics. We're going to talk about some things. And just to let you know, you see this little bar down here? You can click on any of those things down there if you want to skip ahead. If you're just like, I don't care about Wonder Woman, then you're wrong. And you can skip ahead to the next story because that's what we're jumping into right in our first geek topic, the Wonder Woman movie. Releasing next year for my birthday, June 2nd, 2017.
Aw, that's so nice.
Yeah, that's right. June 2nd is not my birthday, but it's close enough that I'm going to consider it a birthday present. So there was a lot of details about Patty Jenkins' 2017 Wonder Woman movie starring Gal Gadot. That was released. A new press release released by Warner Brothers says that the screenplay was written by Alan Heinberg and Geoff Johns. Now, that is a big deal based on a story by Zack Snyder and Alan Heinberg. That is a huge deal for me. Geoff Johns, a current DC maestro and Wonder Woman writer himself, yes. And Alan Heinberg, who in the past has actually written Wonder Woman. Now, actually, for me, this is super positive news. This is probably the most comic booky screenwriting team that I have heard of for any superhero comic book movie, including everything made by Marvel. Two comic book writers are the screenwriters of the Wonder Woman movie. What are your thoughts on this? Well, especially since you are a Wonder Woman and
I'm a Wonder Woman?
Yeah, dare I say it, also wonderful. So what are your thoughts on the Wonder Woman movie being written by comic book writers?
I think this is amazing. I think these are not only two comic book writers, but two very celebrated and well-reviewed comic book writers.
Yeah.
There's part of my brain that goes, well, it would have been nice if we had a lady in there.
Me too.
But we do have a female director and a very, again, well-lauded, well-respected female director. And if the script comes out and is representational and is nice, then it's not like men can't write for women and whatever. I think this is amazing news. I love Young Avengers. I love Geoff Johns' work. I think that they might bring a depth and respect for the storytelling that I'm not going to say has been missed other places, but that we might not have seen to date. And I've seen a bunch of people get all out of whack about the fact that it's based on a Zack Snyder script. He's the person or
story.
Apologies.
But see, for me, see, and I've seen that in plenty of places. For me, even on television, you always see story by.
He's orchestrating the universe. Of course, he has a hand in it.
But all that could mean is, so you're Geoff Johns, I'm Zack Snyder. Here we go. Ready? Let's play act. All right. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Zach.
I think the Wonder Woman movie should be set during World War I, and she rides a lot of horses.
Okay, cool.
There you go. That's my story.
Great.
That's all it could have been.
Yeah.
That's all it could have been. And in a lot of functions, I find, especially in TV, when they give you the story by credit, it's literally that person just gave you a paragraph.
Yeah, or they pitched a scene, or they gave you edits, or anything like that. So if you are not a Zack Snyder fan, then I wouldn't take it too much to heart. I wouldn't worry about it too much, because Geoff Johns and Alan Heinberg, they're the real, to use your word, maestros behind what the script is going to be.
Now, I also want to say that the Wonder Woman also released a synopsis, and I want to read it for you real quick.
Okay.
The Wonder Woman movie hits theaters around the world next summer when Gal Gadot returns the title character in the epic action adventure from director Patty Jenkins. Before she was Wonder Woman, she was Diana, princess of the Amazons, trained to be the unconquerable warrior, raised on a sheltered island paradise when an American pilot crashes on their shores and tells of a massive conflict raging in the outside world. Diana leaves her home, convinced that she can stop the threat. Fighting alongside man in a war to end all wars, Diana will fully discover her powers and her true destiny. Now, that sounds pretty damn cool to me. It basically sounds like the Wonder Woman origin story.
Yes.
So we know that sometime very soon, I would say definitely by, there's conflicting rumors about whether we'll see a trailer during Comic-Con. So who knows? I will say that we're going to see a trailer definitely before Thanksgiving of this year. We will definitely see a trailer. My prediction would be it's probably going to be with Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, you don't think we're going to get a little snippet in front of Suicide Squad? Or they might run some of the stuff we've already seen?
I have a feeling at Comic-Con, and we'll talk about this future on,
Sure.
We'll get a scene at Comic-Con. I think we'll get a clip at Comic-Con. I don't think we'll get a full trailer because they just finished filming.
Yeah.
But I think that we will, I think we'll get a trailer in front of Fantastic Beasts, a full trailer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That'll be a Thanksgiving. But a question to you is, what do you need to see in a trailer for this Wonder Woman movie for it to, like, sell you? For you to be like, yes, I'm going to buy that trailer. I'm so in.
Well, I'm already so in, so I'm going to be like a sucker and a really easy sell on this. I want to see Diana in the First World War. I want something there. I want her in a trench, or I want her with the very multi-ethnic group of people that we saw on Bruce Wayne's computer. I also really want to see some Amazons that we could recognize from the books. Characters like Philippus, characters like Artemis, characters
Hippolyta?
like Io. We know Hippolyta's in it. I would like to see some of the supporting Amazonians featured in the trailer, because for me, that's the thing about Themyscira that I'm most interested in.
The Amazons.
Is the Amazons. The Amazons are really cool. So I would like to see them, and I would like them name checked. What do you need to see?
I need to see two things.
Okay.
I need to see an explanation and a perfect functioning of her lasso.
Ooh.
Now, we got part of that in Batman v Superman. She was using it against Doomsday.
With great skill.
But I want to see it used as the truth meter, because if you know William Marston, Moulton Marston, he also helped develop the lie detector. So it's interesting that he had the lasso of truth. I also would be curious to see if they're going to give her lasso the power that Cassie Wonder Girl's lasso had, where it could shoot lightning.
Yeah.
I think that they should.
Ooh, that would be cool.
I think it should be a truth meter, and it could, like, electrify. I think that's because she supposedly is the daughter of Zeus, if they're going to keep that origin.
Would you like to see it bequeathed to her, or would you like her to have it?
I think we're going to see it bequeathed to her, or she's going to steal it.
I'd be down for that.
I think it would not surprise me if they make the lasso Hippolyta's in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's her because Hippolyta's like, you don't go to that war, young Diana. And she's like, well, I'm going to go, and I'm going to take your lasso, too.
You can't tell me what to do, Mom.
Yeah, Mom. Give me that lasso. I could see that. But my other thing is that Wonder Woman is very entrenched in the world of Greek mythology.
Yes.
I'm almost certain that we are going to see some of the Greek gods in this movie. They're going to be personified somehow, because all the great Wonder Woman stories have those Greek gods.
Yes.
I need to see in this trailer a belief that you can handle that. Because the Greek gods, if done wrong, will be ridiculous and silly.
Right. It's the same concern that people had with the Norse gods when Thor was first announced.
Yes. And the first Thor trailer opened up with this speech from Odin.
Yes.
And you saw Asgard, and you saw Odin, and you were like, that looks pretty cool. That's what I need from Wonder Woman.
Right. And I think they can handle that, because the Rainbow Bridge is a really silly idea that they made cool. So, like, stick Ares in the blue helmet. It'll be great.
And the Asgardians are way sillier.
They're very silly.
Than any of the Greek. Because the Greek gods, like, all you got to do is show a dude in a big white beard, and you're like, oh, Zeus.
Yeah.
You know?
I hope they do the New 52 version of Apollo, where he's, like, burned on the outside. I would love to see that.
Interesting. Okay, so those are our thoughts on Wonder Woman. Now to move on into the Kid Flash. You know, Ashley, there's a little show out there called The Flash.
It is a little show.
3rd season coming up. Season premiere called Flashpoint. Written by Jeff Johns, who's, Flashpoint, the event was written by Jeff Johns, who's also co-writing the Wonder Woman movie. But the premiere episode called Flashpoint of The Flash Season 3 on CW, and Kenan Lonsdale, the guy who plays Wally West,
yes,
he is going to be making his debut as Kid Flash, and they unveiled his costume. His costume looks frickin' sweet.
Oh, man. I mean, I really wish that we'd seen him run in the Season 2 finale. I think that was a beat that was very lacking. I cannot believe they put the stupid, like, not full headpiece. I love that look, but it's really... And when you see it on him, you're like, that's impractical.
And it does look a little silly.
It's so classic Wally West, though. Like, I was so thrilled to see it, even though you're like, that is not comfortable.
It looks like the Rebirth costume, too. It looks exactly like the Rebirth costume. If you look at it, you can kind of tell that they gave him Jake Eric's pants, if you look at the belt.
I like that.
Stuff like that.
I like that.
I'm fine with that, too. I don't care. I get it. You know how to make the one suit. Just keep copying it and painting it different colors. I'm fine with that. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, at least he got a suit. Some actors wear other actors' suits, so he got off pretty good.
That suit looks amazing. Yeah. Now, here's the question. It has been revealed that Wally West the Flash will appear in that first episode of Flashpoint, okay, as Kid Flash in that costume. How do you think they're going to introduce Kid Flash in this series? Because you just said we ended season 2 where Wally West was not running around as a speedster.
And neither was Jesse Quick.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it is called Flashpoint, even though we've done that story like 30 times, there's a good chance that this Kid Flash Wally West is coming from somewhere else in the multiverse, and that will inspire our Earth 1 Wally West to take up the mantle. I would really like it if we had kind of an Iron Man origin that like...
How so?
He takes, he finds an old suit, Barry's old suit, Jay's old suit, whatever, and that he builds it in his room because we know that he's very... No, I really would though.
I don't think you could build that suit in your room.
Hey, he's real smart. He's a great designer. He can paint cool cars. He has all the skill sets to do it himself. And I would really rather see it come from Wally in this organic place than like of him trying to live up to Barry, kind of like in the original comics, as opposed to him coming through the multiverse. But I think the fact that we're starting with Flashpoint means that he's gonna see himself somewhere, or he's gonna see himself as the full Flash, and that's going to be the inspiration for how he gets to this costume.
Interesting.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's very interesting you kept bringing up the multiverse aspect, because I don't think this episode has anything to do with the multiverse.
Get out.
I don't think it does. Here's how they're going to introduce Kid Flash.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
That's Earth 1 Wally West.
It should be.
No, that is directly Earth 1 Wally West. We're going to start episode 1 of season 3 of The Flash already going on. We're not even going to acknowledge that Barry's mom is around. Opening scene, Wally West, Kid Flash. The timeline has reset. Wally West is just Kid Flash, and we're not going to tell you how it happened.
That's kind of like what we did with Thea when she became Speedy. Like, we did have some training montages, but then one episode, like, she's Speedy, don't worry about it. Where did the costume come from? Who cares?
Now, again, I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
But if it was me writing this show, or putting this show, I would have my opening scene set up a criminal, where criminal's doing something, we don't know.
Yeah.
And then you see a blur, making you think
it's Barry.
Think that it's Barry, and then we get to see who's in the blur, and it's Wally. And then because us as viewers, we're sitting here watching this premiere episode, and we're like, how did the timeline change? How did the timeline change? How did the timeline change?
Oh, you're right.
So
you're right.
if I'm the writer, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna leave you hanging there. I'm gonna leave you suffering. And so you're gonna go through the whole first act being like, how did it change? How did it change? How did it change? And I'm going to introduce you Barry Allen about the 15-minute mark, and then his mom calls him.
If that is true, that'll be very interesting, because on the Supergirl side of it all, we do know that Superman is appearing in the first and the second episode, so it'd be really cool if Flash did like a mirror thing, and we got to see Kid Flash appearing for the first couple episodes.
In Supergirl?
No, but like both of the shows at the same time are introducing two new versions of familiar characters.
Well, I mean, I'm still going crazy pants. I have a feeling that in this new timeline, Barry doesn't have powers.
Ooh, like he's just the sciencey guy.
I think I
solid prediction.
I just think he's not gonna have powers, or he's.
And then he has to kiss Wally to get his powers back, right? That's how it's gonna go.
Like Superman 2?
Yes.
But then that would make Wally West forget.
It'll be fine. They'll both be speedsters.
Is he also gonna throw off a saran wrapped flash symbol like Superman's like? Whoosh.
Right, but it's not gonna be the circle. It's just gonna be the lightning bolt. It's gonna poke someone in the eye.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I have a lot of questions about how they're gonna do Flashpoint.
Yes.
I don't know, but I'm telling you 100%, Kid Flash is already gonna be in play.
What if he's on a team that's the Teen Titans?
Well, I don't think we have.
But if it only lasted for like one episode.
I don't think we have all the rights for those characters,
That'd
but
be
sure.
so cool. But if it was just like, here's the way you bring back Roy Harper, right? You have them show up and they're like, oh, we're on a team now. And then you never see them again because we're going to correct the timeline.
Well, there's also a lot of weird set pictures of this Wally West walking around with a speedster that's all in black with a weird, who I don't even know who the hell that is.
I don't think anybody officially knows who that is.
No, I don't think so either.
But I've seen a lot of people be like, it's Jason Fabog's Zoom costume.
I don't think so.
And I'm like, maybe.
I think it's inspired by that. I don't think that's him. I don't know. Like, I have no idea who that is. I mean, it could be Savitar. It could be so many people, because look, Zoom didn't look like Zoom did.
It could also be a completely original speedster for the show, because it's not like we haven't done that in these universes either.
That's right. All right, so speaking of zooming on to different things, let's zoom on into the next thing, Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
Ashley, if next week could be called Comic-Con week, this week could be called Star Wars week. You don't know why?
Oh, yes. Tell me why.
Because, well, you could have told me. I'd have been fine with that.
I was like, I should say yes and.
No, that's all right. Star Wars Celebration is this weekend in London, and they're going to be revealing a whole bunch of stuff. We have a new Rogue One trailer.
Yes.
We're going to have, I'm certainly going to see a full trailer for Star Wars Rebels Season 3, because they always do it. But the first Season 3 clip with Ezra and the team was introduced, and in the clip, Ezra has a haircut.
Yes.
Ezra has a new lightsaber, and he's taller.
He sure
He's
is.
starting puberty, even though he sounds the same. Now, I said we'll probably get a full trailer. We'll get more reveals. I actually enjoyed this clip a lot. I was surprised that we were aging Ezra up that much. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, Star Wars Rebels, of course, takes place a couple years before A New Hope. I think Season 1 started 5 years before A New Hope, and so now they're in Season 3, so now they're 2 years before A New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Ish.
Ish. Yeah, very loosely. And it's about them forming the rebellion and making the rebellion, stuff like that. So we've watched Season 1 and Season 2, both of us. Where do you want to see Ezra's character go in Season 3? Because, again, he seems to be a lot better with his Force powers. He's pretty damn good with that lightsaber.
Yep.
He's built a new lightsaber. He doesn't have a blaster lightsaber thing anymore. It's full-on lightsaber. Yeah. And he decided to cut his hair.
He did. I actually think this is a great redesign of the character, because I'm not a huge fan of Ezra as a character, because I'm not like a 9-year-old kid. That is who that character is for. But I think the redesign is very slick, for lack of a better word.
Kanan.
He does.
Yep.
And that's what I want to see. I want Ezra and Kanan to be equal, because something that I think they don't do very well is that they're trying to prove to you that he's very Force sensitive, like Luke, which makes Luke a little less special. And Kanan has never completed his Jedi training. So if Ezra...
Not until this season, when Yoda spiritually gave it to him.
Right,
Spoilers.
right.
There's going to be a little bit of Star Wars Rebels Season 2 spoilers.
But he's not a traditionally trained Jedi.
Well, you also have to realize that we are going into Season 3 of Rebels. Another major spoiler for what happens to Kanan, so go away now. Click away. Kanan's blind now.
He is.
And that's going to definitely change Ezra's... I have a feeling they'll eventually heal his eyes, but I have a feeling that
But it could make him more Force sensitive.
It's true. Yes, I think so, that too. I think we're going to go the first half of this season with Kanan being completely blind.
I love that idea. I want them to work as equal partners. I think that would be really fascinating. And I think it would give both of the characters a growth that they need, because Kanan was a character, too, that I didn't really like in the beginning.
Yes.
But as he's accepted his role as mentor, I think he's really come into his own. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Do you want Ezra to go down a dark path, or do you want Ezra to go up a light path?
I would like him to go down a dark path, because they flirted with that at the end of the second season, and I thought that was really fascinating. Again, it really mirrors what happened to Luke, or what was supposed to happen to Luke.
Yeah, Luke was supposed to go evil at the end of Return of the Jedi.
And I think that since we didn't do that with Luke, Ezra would be a great analog to really lean into that.
Okay.
And then you set up a final battle between him and Kanan that ends the series. I think that would be really cool, and you could, again, mirror the battle that we saw between, spoiler, Ahsoka and Darth Vader at the end of the second season.
Interesting. I seeing Ezra in this new costume, I have some predictions about the series finale of Rebels now.
Okay.
Now, I don't know when the series finale is going to happen. Most cartoons go 3 seasons, and then they end. So we have no confirmation if Rebels is going to go to a 4th or a 5th. Clone Wars did. Clone Wars only got its 5th because weird licensing, whatever. But it seems to set up that they want to do 5 seasons.
Yes.
Whether they get 5 seasons, who knows? Because Cartoon Network and Disney XD, controls the show. Seeing Ezra like this makes me think that Kanan dies. Makes me think that Kanan is going to become Obi-Wan. That Kanan is going to die and become a ghost, so that way we can really parallel Ezra and Luke.
And you don't literally grow up, visually age your character like that. And if you're not going to put him in a leadership position, because you're not going to have Ezra, who's half the height of everybody, leading this group of rebels around. So that might be a really, really interesting move.
Yeah. And I kind of think that we're going to end Star Wars Rebels with the team disbanding.
I agree.
I think the entire I think Kanan dies. I think
at least Kanan dies.
Yes. I think the rest of them disappear into the dust because the Empire is beating them down. And I think Ezra goes into hiding.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think Ezra goes into hiding. And again, I think it would be cool if we see Ezra in the future episode somewhere.
Alfred Molina should play him.
Alfred Molina?
Yeah.
Why Alfred Molina?
Well, because he's got kind of a similar facial structure, and he's an older gentleman who might be age appropriate for the character.
I actually think it would be cool if you say that's Max von Sydow in Force Awakens was Ezra.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
Because look at this. Ezra's met Leia.
Yes.
And Max von Sydow's
great episode.
Max von Sydow's character says, like, I knew her as a princess.
Yeah, but Ezra doesn't have an accent.
I know, but what do you, like, skip it, go, whatever.
I also want to see what color hair Sabina's going to have this season because it keeps changing and we haven't had a look at her yet.
Oh, there you go. All right, guys, now before we go into the next section of Jason Talks Geek, let's talk about supporting some geek stuff like this show. If you go to patreon.com/Jawiin, you can support this show, and if you do that, you get to watch our supplementary show, Jason Talks More, where it's going to be 5 more minutes of Ashley talking about geeky stuff over on Patreon exclusively for 2 weeks early before anyone else. So head on over to patreon.com/Jawiin. You're going to get all kinds of cool stuff. There's an exclusive Patreon podcast. There's Jason Talks More early. And right now, the Jawiin Comic Summer Box, which you have to sign up, become a $18 Patreon before the end of July, and you get some free comic books and some cool stuff sent right to you, but you got to sign up before July. Patreon.com/Jawiin supports everything we do on the channel, and we thank all of you that do it. Now we're going to move on into super questions, guys.
Okie dokie.
Now, you can always send us new questions at #JasonTalksGeek, or you can just, send them right to me directly, and then we'll answer them on the show. Question number 1 comes from Thea at Braids and Glasses.
Aww.
They ask, Comic-Con expectations. What should we expect from upcoming comic book movie releases at Comic-Con? Now, I will say this before we answer that question.
Sure.
I do know 2 things you can expect from Comic-Con. Ashley and I will be at the Collider Comic-Con meetup at Thursday, July 21st at 6 p.m. at the Fox Sports Grill. That'll be there. There'll be a bunch of Mark Ellis, I know, will be there, Christian Harloff, John Schnepp, bunch of people just hanging out in the Fox Sports Grill, and you can come say hi to us and meet us up.
Yeah.
Ashley and I are going to have a personal meetup inside the convention center at the Geekscape booth, and that is booth 3919. And that is on Friday, July 22nd from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So Ashley and I are just going to hang out. We might have some prints. I don't know, maybe. No, don't hold us to it. But come by, say hi, and tell us how much you love Geek History Lesson or Jason Talks Geek, and we'll be there and we'll say hi to you. Anybody that's at San Diego Comic-Con, meet us at one of those 2 places, and then we have all kinds of panels, and you can find that on Twitter. But Faya wants to know about Comic-Con.
Okay.
Not any of our personal crap. Okay. Thank you for the question, Thea. Okay. What do you think what's one thing you think we're gonna hear about at Comic-Con next week?
As far as the movies are concerned, I think we're going to get a full-length trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, I think you're right.
Because the last time Guardians of the Galaxy had an appearance at Comic-Con, they've been shooting for a mere 10 days, and they released a full trailer. Now the entire movie is wrapped.
Yep.
It has a whole following behind it. I think we're getting at least a 2-minute trailer for that. I mean, I think reasonably you're going to get photos and clips, if not full trailers, for all of these movies that are coming out. Suicide Squad is right around the corner, so I think that Suicide Squad is what you're going to have the most offerings for. And I think you're going to have a lot of announcements from DC, especially about the future of their animated franchises. That's what I think you can look forward to.
Interesting. Animated franchises. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that we will find out who's playing Miss Captain Marvel for definite.
Ooh.
I think Marvel will confirm that. Next week. I think that's going to be, they're going to march her out on stage, and there she is. And whoever they decide, whether it's Brie Larson or our personal choice, Katie Sackhoff. They're going to announce it, I think, next week. I think you are right. I think we will see a Guardians 2 trailer.
Yep.
It would not surprise me to see an Ant-Man and Wasp clip.
Ooh, I forgot about that
because they've been filming for about a month.
Doctor Strange as well.
We'll probably see a new Doctor Strange trailer. Yeah, 100%. I think we'll see a Wonder Woman clip, not a trailer.
Ooh, I want to see it so bad.
And it would not surprise me if they announce who the villain is.
Ah, yes.
I also think that we will get a definite announcement about a Batman movie.
Yes, a confirmation. I think so.
I think we will get confirmation of whatever the Batman movie is. I think whatever the title is going to be is going to happen at Comic-Con.
And I do think that we're going to get confirmation of at least one of the Green Lanterns.
Because
those are 2 roles that are floating in space right now, who the buddy cops are going to be, and I think at least one of them will be announced.
I would love that. I'll be very surprised if that happens.
Well, it's gonna.
I'll be very surprised if that happens. I also think we are going to see a teaser trailer for the new Star Trek show.
Sure, it might just be the
Something.
ship flying by.
It may just be the ship flying by, but we're going to get something because you do not have Brian Fuller host a Hall H panel of Star Trek and not do that.
If I could make another TV prediction too, I think we're going to get a first look at Superman on Supergirl.
I agree. We're going to see a picture of the full suit.
It won't be anything else, and it might just be Tyler Hoechlin in a wardrobe test somewhere, but we're going to see what it looks like.
Yeah, they're going to show a picture of that. And I also think we're going to find out who the season 5 villain of Arrow is.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Always, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thanks for the question. Let's move on to Lieutenant Space Columbo at AA Haro, who has asked another question before. Thanks for keeping asking questions, man. Are you excited for Riverdale? If so, what tone should they use to make Archie work on TV? Now, I know you are a big fan of the Archie comic book series.
Damn.
We know some stuff about Riverdale. I'm not convinced. I want to hear your thoughts as an Archie comic book fan. What do they need to do to make Riverdale work on TV?
They need to make a different show, as far as I'm concerned. I really...
Explain yourself.
I will. I've read Archie comics my entire life. They were some of the first comics that I ever read.
Yep, straight from the womb.
Yes, I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if that was in fact true. I love the new Mark Waid written the new series with a variety of artists, launched by Fiona Staples. I think it's amazing. I think that story epitomizes everything that Archie is, which is essentially a teen romance comedy that when you bring into the modern age can be kind of clever.
Yeah.
I think the CW is the perfect network to do a story like that on. I think the fact that they cast actual teenagers is a perfect choice. And then I think the fact that they tried to make Archie sexy and edgy is a horrible idea.
Okay.
Because for me, and this is my opinion, take it with a grain of salt, for me, there has to be something inherently delicious, right?
Grain of salt?
Inherently 1950s wholesome about Archie.
Okay. So, all right. Let me just devil's advocate you.
Please.
We need something 1950s wholesome. So you're saying that we need the era of keep the women down, stay out other non-whiteys, don't use my water fountain.
Josie and the Pussycats always had an African-American.
And by the way, I mean none of that with no offense. It was my attempt to make a joke. And everybody that's going to comment down in YouTube comments.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't mean...
Like a Pleasantville film.
That's what I mean. Like one of the main things that they're doing in this new show is Miss Grundy's going to be like 30 and she's going to be having an affair with Archie. For me, that's a big no-no.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's also supposed to be a pregnancy scare there, which for me is a double no-no.
With the teacher?
Yes.
And this isn't the pilot?
Yes. So,
It wouldn't surprise me, actually, if they show the pilot at Comic-Con.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either. So, like, for me, the idea of that is borders on distasteful.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean it can't be done well. I'm going to see the pilot.
Then let me flip it back to you.
Yes.
You are a writer.
Yes.
Pitch me 2 sentences in an Archie show that could work. How do you make Archie work for TV? Or is it impossible?
Copy the Mark Waid story.
Copy the Mark Waid story.
Here's how you do it for the modern age. You because I really think that's a great comic run to look at.
Yeah.
Have Archie break the fourth wall. Because he does that in that comic.
Like a Ferris Bueller style.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think it makes him a more accessible figure as a character that maybe we look at as someone inaccessible. And I think that you make it, I know they're trying to be edgy, and I think you make it real without leaning too far on edgy. Like you wouldn't do the Degrassi reboot and do something like that. And Degrassi deals with traditionally a lot of very real-world issues. Yeah. And I think that you can do that respectfully. And the pitch that I read did not read as particularly respectful, and that's definitely me projecting on it.
Okay. I also want to point out that the reason I'm being very quiet during this is because, I mean, I'll watch Riverdale, but I don't have any personal connection to Archie. So to me, you can do whatever you want with Archie. Like, my favorite Archie comic book of the last 50 years is Afterlife with Archie.
Right, which proves that you can, and I will say, devil's advocate to myself, that proves that you can flip all expectations of Archie on its head, and it can be really great. I hope the pilot's really great.
I'm sorry, I'm still in my head. It's like you can't do Archie that way. Devil's advocate myself, you can do Archie that way.
But like just because I don't like the way it is on paper doesn't mean that in practice it's going to be bad.
True, fair enough, and that's why I wanted to ask you that question. Let's move on to Reese Walters asked at RSTW_1995. What would you like Superman's costume to look like on Supergirl? Trunks or no trunks? Well, Reese, thank you for the question of the century. This is a question that will make or break the UN, I believe. And I think it is a very important question. So, Ashley,
Yes.
I want to hear what your answer is. There is a correct answer here, and there is a wrong answer here. And let's
All
see
right,
which way
Internet. I actually would love to see him in the New 52 jeans and T-shirt with the cape.
you go. Interesting.
And I think that would be a very inexpensive costume to make, given the new budgetary restrictions that the show is under. I think because we have Kara wearing an inspired by a Kryptonian look, I think if you made Superman's costume very down to earth, pun intended, that would be a really great way to do it. And again, cheap. What do you think?
Reese, I'm going to tell you this. I'm a Superman fan. There's Superman right there. There's Superman all over. I love Superman. I'm from his home state. I'm a Kansan. I'm an expert on Superman.
Obviously.
Obviously. Superman's trunks are gone. And get used to that. They will not come back.
Ooh, if you had a mic.
The underwear on the outside is inspired by 1930s circus strongmen. Because circus strongmen, they always had that classic, like, think about those old ads where it's just like, are you the weakling on the beach? And the big bully guy comes up and beats them up. If you know what I'm talking about, children of the 80s and 70s, go Google, like, the Charles Atlas, how to get bulked up. That's what inspired Superman and Batman's costume. They always wore those, like, Speedo-type underwear. It's a very dated design look, okay?
Well, it's why everybody makes fun of the classic Robin costume. The same reason.
We will never see the trunks come back in live action. I'm telling you right now, unless we're doing like a retro New Frontier style movie,
which would be the perfect opportunity.
They're never coming back. So we will not see Trunks on Supergirl. I actually think, because I don't think they're gonna make a suit for him because he's only in 2 episodes.
Interesting.
Because I just don't think they're gonna do it. Now, they might make a suit for him if he's going to be in more episodes than we know about.
Right, and so far it's only been announced that he's in 2 episodes.
But I'm just going off the assumption that he's only going to be in the first 2.
Sure.
Let's say that. I think they are going to take the Man of Steel costume. They are going to tailor it to him.
Which inspired Kara's costume as well.
Yes, they're going to take off the S shield. I think they're going to take her S shield and put it on there. So I don't think he'll have yellow on the background. I think he'll be blue. And I think what they're going to do is, for his belt, I think they're going to do what the Rebirth design has, where he has the red and then the diamond.
Yes.
Around it. So it says a red and then a diamond, and then it's just blue, and then it's just blue all the way down.
I will say that Supergirl does have a standing Superman suit that the body double wore in the pilot.
Because they
could also shove him into that.
That's true. And if you look at that, you can tell that it's sort of a Man of Steel suit because
I think it's a Man of Steel test suit.
His wrist gauntlets are exactly the same as the Man of Steel suit. So I think they're going to take the Man of Steel suit and use that as the foundation and change a couple things.
I think that's a great prediction.
So there you go. All right. So let's move. Thank you guys all for your questions. Don't forget to send them to #JasonTalksGeek. We're going to move on to the last section, quick review, where in a couple of sentences we tell you something that really knocked our socks off this week. And Ashley, this could be a book, TV show, or anything. What's something this week that you read, watched, saw, or devoured? Devil's Advocate, or didn't devour. That really impressed you.
I read this week DC Comics Secret Hero Society Study Hall of Justice. Written by Derek Friedels with art by Dustin.
You talk about all of that.
Yeah, Dustin Wynn. If you are a Dustin Wynn fan, if you are a DC Superhero Girls fan, if you are a Lil Gotham fan, this is a fantastic book. It is a hybrid between a YA novel and a comic book. It's the same style as Lil Gotham, except it is the traditional
Lex made Clark cry.
He did. Triumvirate that you are used to. It is definitely the boy version of the Superhero Girls books. I really, really enjoyed it. The characters are well characterized, and it looks really good. So I would recommend it for readers of all ages.
Cool. I also read a comic book inspired by Star Trek Beyond. I've been reading the Star Trek ongoing comic book series from IDW.
Nice.
Now, they are like in 55 issues now. They've been publishing monthly. And originally the series was about, let's take the original series episodes notes and put the J.J. Abrams crew through them, and we'll change, and we'll see how they choose. And for the first 30 issues, that's kind of what it is. But around issue 40 or so, they start changing. They start going a little crazy.
Ooh.
And it gets good. Like, they show you Scotty's origin story and how he got, and what he did to get stuck on that planet. They show you, like, Keenser's origin story. They show you Chekhov's origin story, and they start going through the background of the character. And then the series gets even crazier about in the late 40s. They introduce the next generation character of Q, and John Delancey Q interacts with, like, Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, and he takes them to meet Captain Sisko from Deep Space Nine.
Really?
It goes bonkers. Captain Sisko, Avery Brooks from Deep Space Nine, is in this comic book.
Awesome.
So if you're looking for a Star Trek comic book, or you're fans of the movie and you want to read a comic book, it's a great read, and all the trade paperbacks are really discounted. I got to read them all because they did a humble bundle of that. So there you go, check it out. IDW Star Trek ongoing series, guys. Thank you so much for watching Jason Talks Geek. We'll have a short supplementary video, Jason Talks More, which the patrons can see sooner. But also, next week, we're going to be deep into Comic-Con. So all we're going to have next week is we're just going to have a Jason Talks Geek where we answer your question. We're going to answer like 5 questions because we're going to be so busy at Comic-Con that it's going to be ridiculous. Ashley, where can they find you on the internet if they want to come Devil's Advocate you?
You can Devil's Advocate me on Twitter and Instagram at Ashley V. Robinson. You can find me on Facebook.com/AshVictoriaRobinson. Every week I host the Geek History Lesson podcast with Mr. Jason Inman himself. And every Monday through Friday, I host Comic Book Now on comicbook.com's Facebook page.
Thank you so much for watching Jason Talks Geek. Don't forget to click subscribe if you like Jason Talks Geek, because we're going to keep on doing it. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Jawiin. Guys, take it easy. Drink plenty of water. Devil's Advocate. I'll see you next week.